Welcome to our presentation. We would like to acquaint you with our proposal for an educational campaign under the title Coding with UKE. What is UKE? It's the Electronic Communications Office of Poland, office which we probably are not familiar with. We are the regulator of telecom market in Poland, and we are in charge of everything relating to telecom legal compliance by telecom operators, frequency allocations. But apart from that, we also have a consumer policy department where we come from. So we highlight customer needs in this department, and we also take care of consumers whenever any problems with operators take place, and we also wish to educate our consumers, children and adults as well. For children, we have come up with two educational campaigns. One is about safety, my smartphone, my little world. I click with reason. Under this campaign, we'll meet 40,000 children in primary schools this year. Right now, we have met with 24,000 of kids, and we have trained more than a half of them. That is 24,000 children. We are invited by schools to meet with students under two programs, one from grades 1 to 3, and the other program or curriculum for grades 4 to 6. These are classes that take the form of a dialogue. We discuss threats that they can encounter and how to handle those threats. This takes the form not so much of a lecture, but a discussion. Coding with UKE, this is designed to develop digital competencies of students. We invite students to our office, but we also go out to schools. The two programs have been started in our office from the beginning of this year. The first one from January, and Coding with UKE since April. Why do we run such training? Because in this way, we believe we invest in the education of future consumers. If we inoculate positive content and positive instructions in children, they will be inclined to deepen their knowledge later on. In a single class with children, we cannot communicate everything, but we try to inspire children so that when they come back home, they can calmly build up their digital competences. Direct addressees of our campaign are children and teenagers who we hope they pass the training information on to their parents. We also have teachers present in the classes. We share materials with teachers. We tell teachers what we do and how. We do not leave those teachers all to themselves. We prepare them to answer all of the questions that may come up from their students. As my colleague said, we run two campaigns. Now we will focus on the latest one. We are a regulator, but we'd like our office to be also associated with education. The education of not only adult consumers, but also education of children. We would like our office to be recognized by our ability to answer new challenges. Coding with children, we invite children and teachers to come to our office. How we do it? Above all, these are the programs, apps based on the Scratch programming language, a highly intuitive language. We are programming part of the Smart City program, and this is not the end. We would like to develop, show new funny things to kids, demonstrate to them that the mobile devices, internet, is not just there to collect information, but to create new content. And so that is why robotics will be introduced as part of this training series, 3D design and website design under the WCAG 2.0 standard. We'll teach them what to do to make all the websites available to all users, including people with disabilities. Mobile devices is not just the internet or gaming, it is much more. Why it pays off to code, to write codes, write programs. Coding is learning through fun. Children are code online with mobile devices, and by coding they create an offline content. I give you the Smart City example. They spend time creatively. It's also learning to think creatively and to analyze the effects. If I do something, what effects I can get on a given app or in online reality. Coding, programming, it involves languages of the future. That's why we invest in young people's future. We develop their imagination as well. You probably agree that if juveniles have mobile devices that they can use, and if they can do something innovative, develop some new design of a toy, a 3D model, if they can design a smart city or learn the traffic code, this has an impact on their imagination. If we demonstrate to them what effects, tangible effects they can attain, the more avidly they will absorb this knowledge and take part in such programs. So far, we have educated 161 children. By the end of this year, there will be another group of 200, and in the first half next year, we are planning to educate 300 children, which we would like to infect with the coding bacillus, the coding germ, so to say. This is just the beginning of our adventure. We hope that we will be expanding, and we will be proud of showing you greater figures. So far already, there are already effects. It's a young campaign, and a campaign is booked until the end of this year. We are enlisting new students for next year already. It spreads, the news of the campaign spreads like wildfire, and children, more and more children and parents hear about this campaign, and they phone in and ask to join. Good practices, as we mentioned before. what we would like to achieve through that. Why do we teach coding? It is a good exercise for the brain. A child is not only a passive addressee of the internet content. They are not only surfing passively, but they can create content. Individual creativity, changing attitude to the world around. If we inspire children to engage in coding, in programming, if we show them how capable they are of creating such programs, maybe we will also change their attitude to life. We will inspire their high hopes for the future, and they will turn away from being a passive recipient only. Here we have a snapshot of young programmers at work. A photograph was taken out of our office. We met with deaf children in the Railways Museum in Warsaw. This is a class on the mock-up of smart city. Object of this class was to demonstrate to children that what they themselves program will be actually reflected in real life. They designed traffic lights, they designed railway barriers and switches, everything to make sure that the train goes to the terminus collision-free. These are tangible effects. On the other hand, we teach them road traffic safety and rules, what all of these road traffic and general city traffic devices, how those devices or systems, signaling systems work. Making kids aware of the fact that we as the participants often have no influence on how these signaling systems work, that we have to comply with the traffic laws. Simple as that. This calls for analytical work, creativity, and this means teamwork or group work, so that all that the individual children do is synchronized into a complete and safe system. Another photograph. This is a map with traffic lights, with railway signaling, railway crossing barriers, and you can connect it to electricity, to the batteries, and you can use it to learn effectively. On this photograph, we have a preschool group whom we met in a coding class adapted to their age, which means less computer, desktop computer, more fun, more play, more movement. Children were playing with different codes on this map, on this chart on the floor, and then they repeated that on tablets. We hope to enlarge this youngest group of our students, and they will be thus acquainted with coding from the very early stage. We would like to meet halfway all those challenges of our times. We would like young people to creatively use the advanced technology That is the way that will teach them something specific so that they create the reality around them and go beyond being passive recipients so that they co-create the environment being online in a highly positive and creative sense.